Welcome, friends, to Street Food Stories, where we dive into the sizzling, smoky world of food trucks, street food, and the diversity of flavors found on streets across America. We're your hosts, Craig and Jamie Joe, and invite you to join us as we chat with industry leaders and celebrate the spirit of street food that brings us all together. This is Street Food Stories. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Street Food Stories. I'm your host, Jamie Joe, with the Tennessee Cobbler Company, and
I'm Craig Joe with the Tennessee Cobbler Company.
today we are joined by Sam Alvey, a food fight truck out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing wonderful.
Good, good. So tell us about your story right out the gate. I want to know how you went from MMA fighting, or how you're still involved in that, to owning a food truck.
Yeah, so I fought in the UFC for about a decade. I've got 25 fights in the organization. I was very successful with them. And while I in the UFC, I always applied to shows. I applied to I was on Wipeout. I was on a couple comedy shows. I was on all sorts of stuff because I just, hey, I've got a social media following, and I'm Smilin Sam UFC. People always wanted me. My wife and I, we used to watch the Great Food Truck Race. We still do. And we just loved it. Said, let's apply. Why not? So I applied, and they got back to us like, oh, awesome. Now, we had no experience food trucking. Yep, that's us. We had no experience food trucking. So we didn't lie to them. We just exaggerated our experience. We exaggerated what we could do. And they loved it. And we were convinced they were buying all of it. Oh, okay, that's great. And then it came to like, they were picking the who's going to be on it. It was between us and one other team. And they finally said, listen, you guys just don't have any experience. We got to go the other. It's like, oh man, but we told you almost everything. But they didn't let us on. And they said, you just come back to us in a year, get a little experience. I said, okay. Well, it's one of the things my wife and I said, all right, let's do it someday. We love the show. We think we'd have a good time with it. And so years later, I moved from California out to Tennessee. And I said, let's start a truck. Why not? So we started the truck. My wife came up with the name, the Food Fight Truck, which is, I think, the greatest name that's ever been. And that's kind of what we got started with. I'm a Wisconsin boy. She's the chef. I'm just, I can talk. So I'm real good with the window stuff. And she came up with she came up with the name. She's from Chicago. So our champion is the deep dish pizza. And then the challenger changes every night, or could change every night. So we've done jambalaya, and we've done, mac and cheese. We're doing paninis and nachos all the time. People are loving those. The challenger is becoming the champion almost. But
so you guys have like a main staple. So you have like a staple item, and then you have like a rotational menu.
Yes. We've got the main deep dish Chicago style pizza. They're what's that, a 10-inch pizza? We give it to you that way. So it's a serving for one hungry fella. That looks pretty good.
Then, I love.
We get creative with what the challenge is going to be.
What year did you guys first start the food truck?
So we started, let's see, what year is it now? 2025. It's been getting close to 2 years. It was, I think, July of 23.
Okay. What made you land on pizza?
My wife's Chicago girl. She grew up. She grew up in Chi-Town, and it was just, it's nowhere else in Tennessee. The deep dish. I mean, it's nowhere else but Chicago, and it's our favorite type of pizza.
That's awesome. Your wife was on America's Next Top Model or something like that. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. My wife won America's Next Top Model, cycle 11. It was. It was a few years back. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I drove her down there. So we were dating, and I drove her down there, just kind of kicked her out of the car and said, all right, go in. And then she made it through everything. She didn't really want to try. Yeah, she didn't really want to try out, but I forced her.
So you're both kind of very well into the reality TV stuff and game shows and things like that.
We've done some stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've been around.
I think Craig had asked, was she a model before, or she just decided to do it?
No, she's a jock. She's a little tomboy jock. No, she's just prettiest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you mentioned you had kids. So
yeah, we've got 6 kids. We now live on a ranch out in Murfreesboro. We just had I guess you call them a litter of goats the other night. Like 3 or 4 of our, we have 12 new heartbeats on our farm from 2 nights ago.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're just having a good time with life.
Do your kids work on the truck?
Mm-hmm. I, I don't know that they're allowed to. For legal reasons, no, they've never done it.
Yeah,
They're
kids
not
work
old
on the
enough to help
trucks all
out.
the
Yeah.
time. I don't know how old your kids are, but a lot of them are, a lot of people have their kids on their trucks.
No, our kids are all young. The oldest is 11, youngest is 2. But
Okay.
they've all done a little bit of here and there on the truck with us.
Had their hand in it. Well, what has
Yeah.
been the biggest, like, since you're relatively like a newer truck, what has been the biggest lesson that you've learned so far, or the biggest shock that you had getting into the industry?
When we first started, like we didn't know anything. I assumed you just pull up to Walmart and you sell food. It's all good, which we did a few times, and it was not all good. It was just nobody shows up. Like nobody comes to your truck unless you are scheduled to be there. Like if you just show up, nobody cares. And I did not. Me, I've always been. If I see a food truck, I am immediately interested, and I want to go there. And I assumed everyone else was. And nope. It was always funny at the beginning. We'd pull up somewhere randomly at a park or a Walmart or wherever, and people would actively try not to lock eyes with you because they don't want to say no. Well,
Yeah. Here in the market in Tennessee, it's like that. Like you have to actually market your events. Like every scheduled day is like an
Mhm.
event. So, like you said, versus just showing up and like expecting people that are passing by to stop. I've noticed that a lot here, where in other towns, maybe that is the case, kind of like a roaming ice cream truck or something. You just show up and people come over to the truck. But here it's very much like marketing based. Like you have to say, hey, we are going to be here on this day. You guys come out, or work a neighborhood where maybe their HOA has been promoting it on their inside circles and stuff. So it's very much like marketing driven here in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's not like New York or
Yeah,
something like where you can just like pull up and there's like a bunch of people walking down the street and then they stop for lunch and stuff like that. But like she said, it's like an event based more in
Have,
Nashville.
have you guys done a lot of
yeah.
events, like bigger events, or?
Yeah, we have to be careful with ours, and we're really playing because deep dish pizza takes 45 minutes to make. We've
Yeah.
gotten it down where it doesn't take that long, but it still takes time. So it's hard for us to do the big events. So we're with our menu. We're really focusing on challenger menu now, because the challenger menu we can pump out pretty quick.
Do you have like a oven on the like what's the equipment on your truck that y'all are working with?
Yeah, we've got a giant smoker on the back. We used to smoke all of our pizzas, but if they didn't sell, they'd be in the smoker for too long, and it would taint the crust too much. So we found out we can't do that quite as much as we wanted to. So we've got the smoker, and that helps out with a lot of it, like our pulled pork on our nachos and all that. We use a smoker for that. We have convection ovens in there, a couple more or less toaster ovens, but we have 3 or 4 of them, so we can rotate through pretty quickly the crust, and then when it's ordered, we can make the pizza fresh right then.
Okay, that's I see what you're doing there.
Do you guys do a lot of neighborhoods or like more caterings? What's been the bulk
We
of your business so far?
Yeah, so we love doing the caterings. Those are our favorite because then we know roughly
Hmm.
exactly how many people are gonna be there. The neighborhoods were always fun. When we first started, we just threw rice at the wall. We were doing stuff every night of the week, everywhere, and that was it was exhausting. And you had no idea how many people were gonna show up. So I
Yep.
like the neighborhoods, but I've done so many of them. At this point, we know which neighborhoods we don't want to do anymore, and we know
Right.
which neighborhoods to do. Um,
Yep.
yeah, but we love working with churches. Churches always have things going on, and they're always so much fun. The people are always pleasant. It's always a good when there's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 30. We've done the World Outreach Church a few times. We're 30 food trucks. We always do really well competing when there's a lot of other options too.
Awesome. Yeah. What has been your favorite event that you guys have done so far? Do you know?
The World Outreach Church really is my favorite one. It
Okay.
just there are so many people,
Yeah.
and so many food. Like there's literally 30 to 40 food trucks there,
Mhm.
and everyone sells out. It's so much fun. If your line gets so long, people stop coming. They go to the other ones, and when their lines get up, they come back to us, and it's just we have a blast there every time. They have like 4 weekends a year, twice a month, or
Mhm.
twice a year, so 8
That's
weekends a
like
year.
a misconception about food truckers too, like trying to be with other food trucks. It's a lot.
Mhm.
You just feed off of each other. It's not like a competition thing. If someone's really busy, they'll go to your truck and they just feed off of
Mhm.
each other. So I like being around a bunch of other trucks at like events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I do too, and we've heard that other trucks can be mean to you and they can report and this and that. I've loved every truck we've worked around. Like
Yeah.
I haven't had a bad experience with any of them. I'm friends with like 4 or 5 now, and then the ones I'm not friends with, we're great with. Every time we're
Yeah.
around each other,
Mhm.
we know each other and we chat and we say, "Oh, good luck here, good luck there."
Yeah.
It's really a
We've
fun
been
community.
in the Nashville market now almost 10 years. 2026 will be 10 years.
Okay.
And honestly, I've not seen that either. I've not seen like this big for the most part, there's always a few, right, in every crowd, but
Mhm.
for the most part, the Nashville food truck scene is like a family. Like everyone knows each other, they're willing to help out. That you see each other out at the events and everyone's
And just
pretty much
trade
pleasant.
food
So,
and
yeah, trade
yeah.
food.
I love trade. I love food trucks so much. And when I can trade food, I'm always trading food.
Oh yeah, that's like the number one perk of being a food truck owner. You get
It
to trade food with everybody.
really is. It is. Yes.
So what has been
Um.
your biggest well, okay, let me say, have you had any food truck fiascos since you've opened? Like for
Um.
instance, I'll let Craig tell you, well,
Like
he's dumped about
breakdowns or
10 pans of cobbler
stuff
in the
like that.
floor,
Yeah.
forgetting
Like
to strap something down. Like, have you had your share yet of food truck fiascos?
More than once, the strapping something down. Like more than once, I opened. I was like, God bless it. Oh, you gotta go figure everything out with that. So no, absolutely. Generators were a pain in the butt when I first started. Oh my! We talked to a bunch of people and said, all right, you want to get two generators instead
mhm,
of one eight, or, 9,000, get two 4,500s, and then have
Mhm.
them, because if one breaks, you always have the other one. You can always
mhm.
mostly run a truck off one. And we
Uh-huh.
started off with one big 9,000, and it was one of the loud ones, and you just heard everything. You heard the generator for miles around,
Mhm.
or at least I felt that way. So we figured out the generators. We've blown its higher more than once.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and yeah,
y'all's is a trailer, right? It's not a truck.
yes.
It's
Yeah,
a
I
trailer.
do
Okay.
think we're gonna switch to a truck though.
Oh,
We've got
okay.
a beautiful
Okay.
trailer. But I'm gonna switch to a truck.
It's
I'm
Yeah.
tired of the trailer.
yeah, we went through the same like we started off with a truck and then we thought about a trailer because like there's some drawbacks to having a truck too. Like our truck breaks down, you can't go to the thing. If you have a trailer, you can get another truck or rent another
Yeah.
truck and you can still make your thing. But if
Mhm.
your truck breaks down, you're kind of screwed. But I enjoy having the truck and you can just pull in and you don't have to worry. You're almost double the length when you're a
Yeah.
trailer. So I mean it's a little harder to maneuver and there's just drawbacks from that aspect.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work, and we have to back the trailer in. And when it's at night, it's dark out. I can't back it
Mhm.
in by myself. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I've never been able to drive a trailer until I've had this food truck. So in the last 2 years, I've learned how to back stuff up.
There you
Uh,
go.
but when it's dark, I can't see anything. So if
Right.
I do a third shift, I gotta call my wife and, hey, come wake up and back me up, or vice versa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we're ready for the just pull in and be ready to serve.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a truck already? Are you looking for one now or?
We're looking right now. Our trailers,
Yeah.
we've got a really pretty trailer. It's a 20-foot trailer, as an open back, and it's real. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone, but I just think it'll be easier in the long run
Mhm.
to run our business out of.
And
Yeah.
some of the events don't allow trailers. Some of them don't because they're so
Yeah,
long and
Have you
that's
guys
out of
ran
it.
into that a lot?
So my favorite one, the World Outreach Church, you can have a trailer, you just can't stay connected. So
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
you have to go, and then getting out, you're the last one out, because now you got to wait for everyone else to leave before you can pull your
Mhm.
truck in and back it up. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've done plenty of them, and it's not, it's more hard in my head than it is in reality.
Mhm.
But we've had a good go with it. We haven't come across anyone that was really upset with us.
So are you guys wanting to sell your trailer and get a truck, or are you thinking about keeping both and running both maybe?
No, we're gonna sell the trailer and get the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried. I was like, hey, I'm gonna expand here.
I've got 2 trailers right now. When we first started, like again, we didn't know anything outside of the Great Food Truck Race. That is all we knew about food trucking. So in there, you pull up and people show up, and you sell,
Yeah.
thousands.
Mhm.
Hey, what gets me is like every episode is like, yeah, we only sold $6,000 worth of food tonight. It's like we're gonna go home for sure. It's like, good God, you sold $6,000 on a sidewalk. Holy
Yeah.
man. And so we didn't know what to expect. So we started with a really small trailer. We started with it was like a 12 footer, before attached, and it worked well, but we outgrew it immediately. Like this is
Mhm.
too small.
Yeah.
I always tease my wife. I love flirting with her in it because we were always bumping into each other. And so that was a lot of fun. With this bigger trailer, we've got more space to work around each other, which is unfortunate. But
Well,
we
and you
think that
guys,
the
her being a model and you being a fighter, like I'm sure you're both like tall and like we're really short. I'll speak for both of us. We're really
Yeah.
short. So we have a tiny little truck and everyone usually gets on our truck and they're like, oh my gosh, like, this
Oh
thing is
yeah, if you're
so
6
tiny.
foot, you like hit your head on the ceiling of our truck. So
Yeah.
it's
that
pretty.
I've heard, that is the one thing where I'm 6'2", she's 6 foot, and that's
Oh
Okay.
something
yeah.
like we love the school bus trucks. We love the way they look. We're too tall for them. Like
Yeah.
I've been in a few, and it's the entire time I've got to duck down for it.
Yeah.
So
And
I've got
you've
to
got to
get.
be comfortable. Like people don't understand when they're like, "Oh, just make like no, we're in these things for hours on end. We
Yeah.
have to be comfortable." So, I can't imagine. I mean, we're pretty lucky that it doesn't take it takes a lot to make us uncomfortable because we are so much shorter, but I can imagine constantly having to, lean over or hit your head on things or it's just annoying. Nobody wants to be working like that. So,
Mhm. And that we'll have to figure out which trailer we get to see how tall and if we have to lean down or if there's space.
Yeah.
The trailer we have now is beautiful. I've got a cooler I can sit on when I'm selling,
mhm.
and I'm just eye level with everyone right then. If I
Yeah.
stand up, I gotta look down, but the cooler is perfect height. Everything's perfect height for me now. I'm hoping I can keep that with the truck, but we'll see. I'm sure there's a give and take for everything.
So, I just want to know, do you have your Facebook page back? Did you
Yeah, like, oh,
tell us what happened with your Facebook page?
this photo got me taken off Facebook or got stripped from. We changed the background. I think the background we have is blue and it was
Uh-huh.
red or something. So he's changed the color. Now they're fine with that. But yeah,
That
this
is
was.
So what
crazy.
happened? What was the reasoning they took you off of Facebook?
Yeah, because it was that picture is too violent or something.
Because
That
she's
they
got you in a rear naked choke.
Yeah. So it's based on a real photo. Years ago when I fought for Bellator, I won the fight where I had a little cut and there's some blood running down the face and she changed it. It's a great photo. So we took the photo, made a cartoon version, took the blood away, and it's the logo. And Facebook hated it. They took it down
What?
through. They took down. It's like good.
That is
Uh,
insane to me.
This right here. Okay, so I'm gonna put
yeah.
this back up on the screen. So if you're watching on YouTube, like, okay, if
Be
Facebook
careful. YouTube might take it down.
they said you could not have this as your logo because it was too violent. Do you know the things that I've seen on social media that are wild? But this one that I just thought that was funny. We saw that on your social media and we thought, okay, this is hilarious. They thought this was too violent for Facebook.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Insane.
So I just changed the color of something, and I've had no problems since. But man, they hated the color blue, or maybe it was red.
That's so crazy. That I never understand social media. Speaking of though, you guys have quite a following on social media already, but you had like personal followings and stuff, like right? Both of you had kind of a good following on social media. Have you found it easier to market your food truck because you had a personal following?
Uh, no, but it's my fault. Not anyway. I don't do it enough.
Mhm.
Same, same.
My pages, my personal pages for my fighting is it's my primary source of income is me fighting in that. So all of my social media, and God, I do a lot of it, is for Instagram and
Mhm.
TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. And I need to do it for the truck too. It's just another. I hate all social media. I hate it, and it's just part of the job.
Mhm.
And as soon as I need to, I will force myself to do more of it for the food fight truck.
Yeah.
But
I struggle with that so hard, like and it's so expensive. That's the one thing I wanna hire out. I'm like, "Can we just please hire this out?" Because it needs to be consistent. I don't have time to do it, like, it would just be awesome if we could just hire this out. It is the most expensive food like, it is the most expensive business thing that you could hire out. Like you could hire a full-time manager cheaper than I can hire someone to run social media full time. Like it's wild how expensive it is.
So an idea that I've done with my other ones is hire your next door neighbor's kid or something just to
Yeah.
come and film with a camera or a real phone or a camera, just film you guys food trucking just for 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, however long you're out there. Just have them film. Anytime something's have them film, and then just go through and cut it up into 30-second
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah.
And
See, and I think that's our, like, when we are at events, I don't have a problem with it. I can knock out content super fast if we're at an event and we're working, or if like we have an employee on board with him and I'm able to leave the truck and film. Like that's my world. I love it. But it's those off days, because see, we have 2 trucks. So one of our trucks is like permanently parked in East Nashville, and the other one is the roaming truck. So the one that's stationary, that pops up, a couple days a week or 5 days a week. That's the one, like it's just hard for me every day if we're not on that other truck out somewhere. I'm just like out of sight, out of mind. It's so hard to go over there and make something and film it, or try to get the girls that are on the truck to, hey guys, can you film yourself making this? Everyone films differently. And so, yeah, we struggle with the social media thing too. It's just it's too much.
It's
Oh
a
man,
full-time job.
it is. It really is, and it's such a pain in the butt. And it's
Yeah.
you're gonna post it, and half the people are gonna like it, half the people are gonna hate it, and none of them are gonna hit the little heart button. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's definitely not my favorite thing. I will say that, but you do it well. So I just didn't know. I was like, hey, maybe with your personal following, it was easy to just transition that over to your truck.
I'm sure it is something. So I do interviews all the time. Like I'll do 3 or 4 a week just for various ones, and they're always asking that because I'm public about it. Yeah, I've got to. So I tell them what it is, and people are always following because they hear me on that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're not all from Middle Tennessee, so a lot of the follows don't do me any good.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun to see.
Now, so I put up Instagram here, Food Fight Truck. That's where folks can find you on Instagram for your business, right?
Yes,
and then I think your name tag that you have there is Smilin Sam. That's your personal.
Yep, that's my personal handle. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I saw you use Street Food Finder and BFT, right? You're on those. You're on
Yes,
Street.
yes.
Okay. Have you found one to be better than the other? You use one more than the other one?
Yes, but I couldn't tell you which one it is. Like one, one of them I always remember is great when I'm using it. The other one's and I don't remember which one it is.
Yeah. Well, have either of them been beneficial though, and like booking stuff, or do you find that you book more private stuff?
Finding the jobs.
Mhm.
Yeah, finding the jobs is great. And it really helps that way. They earn every penny they take from me.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find some of the jobs. Your local ones, but if someone drops off last minute, that's where they really come into handy.
Right.
How many days a week do you guys try to go out with the truck? Is it just sporadic, or do you try to go out 3 or 4 days a week, or?
No, it's sporadic right now. For
Mhm.
when we first started, it was 6 of the 7 days a week, and we were trying for 7. But we found a lot of ones that just didn't pay off, and now we've been inching into other things. And personally, outside of food trucking, we've got other stuff happening right now, so we've slowed way down on it. We're about to. Maybe we've got another 2 weeks, and then we boost it back up to what will be 3, 4, maybe 5 days a week with it.
Yeah.
Was
Springtime's
the winter?
coming, so that's food
Yeah.
truck
Right.
season.
I was about to say, was the winter a little slower for y'all? Because it was slower for us, but
This year, yes, but I assumed it was just on our we weren't looking as hard. Last winter we stayed real busy. I don't know that we did all that did all that well, but we were always real busy.
There's still a lot of stuff. It's like you said, churches, they constantly have like winter festivals and, winter events and things. And we've found that that's kind of sustained us through the winter. A lot of trucks shut down after like November, maybe some of the Christmas parties, they'll shut down until like April or May, or March, even really March, April, May.
Right.
And so we've done some stuff here and there. This year we really didn't do a whole lot. We just didn't really put it out there because we thought like let's just take a little bit of a break from our mobile truck. Now, of course, we've had our other truck is up and running. But yeah, it's scary when those winter months are coming and you just know that your income is going to be completely depleted or just completely, just slow down and go a different direction for a few months. Unlike most businesses that can run year round. So
Yeah. Well, one of you guys should become a professional fighter. Then you can do that in the spare time.
Yeah.
Craig,
I
I'm gonna leave
mean,
that up to you.
I've got a little bit of martial arts experience. Like I was like black belt and like Kempo karate and stuff, but
Okay.
nothing
Kempo's where I
professional.
started.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He,
I got a little bit of grappling and karate stuff. So
All right.
he'd
All
probably
nothing
like
right.
to get back
professionally.
into it. You should get back into it a little bit. Like he misses it. He talks about it all the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, don't go fight with anybody.
Now, are you
He'd
still
probably.
training and fighting?
Oh yeah, yeah. It is my full time job is training and
Okay.
fighting. So I'm
Awesome.
always. I just got the offer last night, and I'll be fighting in Dubai here in about two and
Oh,
a half
wow.
months.
That's awesome. And what
Karate
league is
combat.
that?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. The UFC and I parted ways about 2 years ago, and now I've made a home with Karate Combat. I'm their heavyweight champion, the greatest karateka in the world, the king of karate, if you will.
There
And
you go.
yeah, that's what I'm working now.
That's awesome.
That is
Well,
so cool.
I'll have
It's a
to
diverse
look at.
world of food truckers out here.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what you're gonna get. Like some people are doctors full time and then have food trucks on the side. Some people are martial arts champions here. Like you never
Oh,
know what you're gonna
it's so much fun. I just love it. I tell everyone when I have a good night, and it's like 100 just small conversations I have all night long, and I just
get.
love it. So then half of them know who I am, half of them don't care, and we talk about whatever, and then give them their food, and maybe we'll
Yeah.
meet them again, maybe not.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is one thing about food trucking and meeting so many people coming up
Mhm.
your window and random people. You just
Hmm.
get to.
So when you were in California, what part of California? Were you in LA?
Temecula. We're right in the middle of LA and San Diego.
Well, we are about to wrap things up, but I have a few more questions for you here.
Okay.
So, if you could feed anyone in the world your food from your food truck, who would it be? If you could pick one
Anyone
person.
from New York, show them Chicago style deep dish is the real pizza. It's America's pizza.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's fighting words.
I'm
All
game.
right.
Yeah.
Well, if you could open a food truck anywhere in the world, where would you open a food truck?
Before living in Nashville, what is it, Nashville? Now I've got one in Nashville, so I can't say Nashville. Um, I don't want anything to do with California. I would go into one of the northern cold states, like Montana, up that way, just where I'm sure they don't have, deep dish pizza either. I would just go where they don't have it, and then shoot an elk too in the side. My
I
Yeah.
would
my,
think
my
so.
moments out.
Montana it's like my favorite. I think Montana's the most gorgeous state ever. And
Yeah.
if anyone happens to be listening from Montana, please do not take this personally. They need some good food. we, we went on vacation to some of the national parks, and that was one of the things that we noticed was there's just not a lot of options in those areas. The more rural areas, there were not a lot of options of food, and it was just I think I expected like elk burgers and like all these things,
Uh-huh.
and we just did not necessarily find that out there. So I think Montana would actually be a perfect spot to open up a food truck because
There we go. Yeah.
but I love Montana, so no one come for me because it is my favorite. I would live there in a heartbeat. It is absolutely beautiful. We just always thought that. They're like, "Oh, wow, they could use some food trucks." So,
We still haven't eaten off your truck, so we gotta come
Oh
find you
yeah.
yeah.
out there.
Oh,
So
we'll give you the best we've got.
What do you guys have coming up? Do you have anything soon that you're gonna be at, like a
Uh
public event?
Nothing big. We've got a couple little ones coming up. I think we're doing Chewy here not long, and we live close enough to General Mills, so we do them often enough.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I like working the third shift. I really do. I go out
yeah.
there. It's late night. It's not all that busy, but it's a pretty constant flow.
Mhm.
It's relaxing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
they
like the
probably appreciate that too because they don't
the
always
corporate
get,
gigs?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, General Mills, we've done it often enough. I know some of the people that work there now, and like we go, we can have continued conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Sam, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, whether it was food trucking or fighting. We are so glad that you joined us and hopped on here tonight. So, thank you again, everybody, for listening. Please be sure to check out Street Food Stories wherever you get your podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. We appreciate you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Keep on trucking, y'all.